Star date, whatever. ASL Season 4 or Season 6, Week 4, The Crispy Panda versus Commander Milan. It's time to fight against the top plays, top prepper, whatever. And it is not pretty. Let's just start. So, I lead with Diggersby, and I decide to turn one Z-move the Mudsail, because if it isn't max HP, max defense, then it's probably gonna die. And then it's max HP, max defense, and I'm screwed. I am so screwed. I probably should have saved that Z-move. I probably should have SD'd, but I didn't really want rocks up. But now that it's max HP, max defense, it can get rocks up anyways. So that was bad. So he decides shows to be rest talk, or not talk, just rest. I just toxic predicting the switch, pretty obvious. And then I stay in and recover just to check if Volcanion's a Z move. It doesn't use the Z move, and Shaman comes in. So I go Latios for mid ground play. I sub, and then Licky Licky I can't touch really, as it shows to be max HP, max Spadaf. So lots of max HP, max something on his team. And he shows the heal bell, which makes this a lot harder to kill Volcanion. I think my only way of killing it is probably Diggersby, which I wasted the Z move of. Anyways, I Swords Dance predicting Mudsail, but Shaman comes in instead, so that was bad. I U-turn because I'm Scarfed, then I U-turn again because he predicts I'm Scarfed. If I wasn't Scarfed, that would have been good, but I was Scarfed. I go into on guard, and then I double into Latios, and then I just Ice Beam, I'm pretty sure. Yep. And then I should be Ice Beaming again because it's a mid-ground play. Turn 15. Wow. And then I Shadow Ball the Metagross, get a crit. Now, from my calcs, the first Ice Beam showed that it wasn't very bulky. So Shadow Ball, I'm pretty sure was a roll. But remove the roll, just add a crit. Metagross is dead. And I'm feeling pretty good. He uses knocks off my Kepia Berry, which kind of sucks. I just Moonblast, kind of average play. And then I go hard Latios as he sets up some rocks because I didn't want to get poisoned. Anyways, I decide to Ice Beam again. Hopefully try to get a freeze on this Licky Licky, but it's not happening. So I go back into my Flogus to get rid of these rocks because rocks is kind of bad for my team. And I'm not setting up rocks on him either way. So he goes in Volcanion. I'm afraid of a Sludge Wave, so I go hard into Milotic, and he Toxics me, which kind of sucks. Because I should be the one Toxicing him, which I Toxic this Licky Licky. I should be going... I probably should have gone Escavalier there. But I didn't go Escavalier. I went Diggersby, try to break this thing. I SD again, predicting the Muds down. He goes Shaman again! Oh my goodness, Milan. Get out of my head. Anyways, in comes the Crispy Gorilla. Time to Flare Blitz. He protects to Scalp me because it's a no drawback play because he has leftovers. And in comes Volcanion. I should have predicted that and switched, but I didn't. And now I switch into Latios on the Flamethrower. Heated up pretty well. Shows that he's not very offensively inclined. I go hard Diggersby, and he reveals to be Scarf Pangaro. So now Diggersby is dead. In comes my Scarf Darmanitan. I decide to Rock Slide, and it does nothing. Probably should have Flare Blitz there, but I was predicting the Volcanion. He Stealth Rocks on my Latios, and I decide to Ice Beam the Mudsail, and he lives. But he's very low, which is really nice for me. That might have been a choke from his side, because if Mudsail is healthy, then it can rest on a bunch of things. And I'm just going to cut through the chase. this is when like Super Stall Fest starts. So I'm gonna skip this to fast, and there's gonna be like 60 more turns of playing this game, doing little bits of chip, little bit of marginal advantage here and there. Yeah. U-turn on a shaman, in comes this. I should decide to ice beam and sack this off. Yep. Now it's 4 to 5. In comes Darmanitan. Should rock slide. Yep. And in comes Milotic on a wish. Toxic. Predicting Shaman. I'm gonna just spare you the trouble. This becomes a stall fest, and it ends on turn 98, I'd like to say. Mudsdale dies, by the way. Turn 97. So, this is where we decided to end the battle. Make it a 0-0 forfeit in my favor. And I'm going to explain a lot of things. So, why was it a 0-0 in my favor? This is the reason why. Because Milan had a bad internet connection for whatever reason. It started at the beginning of the game where he couldn't click moves at the very start. And after turn 97, he literally could not click any moves. He tried like 20 times relogging and he couldn't get into the game. So that wasn't happening. And then we started talking because Milan was getting tired, he was getting frustrated. I was getting bored, kind of, because there was been like 20 minutes of turn 97 of a stall versus stall matchup. And we decided to do a 0-0 forfeit in my favor because it wasn't really fair to just for Milan to just forfeit and make it a 4-0 for me, because this game could have gone either way. I'll explain how later. And it wasn't really fair just for me to lose, it wasn't fair to me to just take the L because Milan's internet died. So we decided the 0-0 forfeit in my favor because he doesn't have to lose a bunch of differential for no reason. We can end this stall fest, and because and I get a win. So let me explain now why this was so hard to decide this endgame. So there's 3 stall mons on his side, 3 stall mons on my side. Shaman can't touch Escavalier. Escavalier can't touch Volcanion. Volcanion can't touch Milotic. Milotic can't touch Shaman. That's a loop right there. Sometimes Licky would come in to heal Bell, and it was getting to the point where someone's resources was going to run out. So the few scenarios that could have happened is Licky runs out of heal Bell, and everything dies to Toxic. Another situation, Volcanion dies, or Shaman runs out of Leech Seeds, and then it's not really an answer to Milotic because it can't really pressure the things coming in. Another situation is that I run out of syntheses on Florgus, and then I can't switch it into the Moonblast the Pangoro. And another situation that can happen is Milotic can run out of recovers. So, in another situation that can happen is I can run out of Toxics. So, just looking at it, I was at 4 syntheses, he was at 7 Leech Seeds, he was at 4 Heal Bells, and I was at 11 recovers if I remember correctly. So it just would have been a lot of switching, a lot of doing the same thing over and over and over again. I'm not sure who would have won. I think it would have came down to who surprised who with their remaining moves. I think if Shaman ran out of leech seeds, then Shaman would have to eventually energy ball my melodic when it's healthy. Then I can be in more favorable position to mirror coat it and kill it. And if Shaman's dead, then Licky Licky is forced in a lot more to heal Bell, and then I probably win. That's one situation. Another situation is I run out of healing on my Melodic. My Melodic dies. If my Melodic dies, then Volcanion just wins. There's a lot of situations that could happen in this endgame. But we'll never know. We'll never know how it ends up. No one knows. Nobody knows, but it's ended. It's over. It's traumatic. Somehow, I feel like this is justice. This reminds me of a story. A story of another battle that I had. Once upon a time, there was a man named Xenos. And I was going to battle Xenos in a 1v1 battle. Now this was a tournament where everyone had specific restrictions and everyone knew each other's restrictions. So my restriction was I could only choose mons from Akala Island, and his restriction is he could only choose mons from Pony Pony Island from Gen 7. So I knew that he was kind of a stall player, and I decided that the only way that my island could easily beat stall was with stall. So what happened is it was a Wi-Fi game. We got down to like 5 minutes before the end of the game, and he dips. He disconnects. I can't save the replay. I was winning in HP, but no mons died. It was a stall war. And I ended up losing because we had to do a rematch where he won. And I know the reason why he had to leave 5 minutes before the end of the battle where I would have won. It was because his father had gone to the hospital. And I feel like this was kind of a similar situation. Not in the fact that Milan's father is now in the hospital and he's in a dire family situation. It's just that every time I go into a stall war, it does not end out favorably. And I don't know if it's life just laughing at me, but it's kind of a lesson not to use stall. I'm not sure how much I'll take that lesson to heart because defensive walls are a huge part of Pokemon, but it is what it is. I got my win in the end of the day. I'm technically 4-0. I'm sure there will be arguments out there. A lot of my wins this season has been shady. This has been the shady season for TCP. But that's all I got. See you all next time in week 5.